So yeah, I am recording this so y'all can go back, go over what you need to. I'm gonna give it to like 7:35. Well, in that time, what do y'all want to talk about? 5 minutes. Nothing. How was y'all's
No.
day?
Good. How was yours?
Pretty good. Pretty good. Pretty tired.
You know, I was gonna ask Hex, and I didn't get a chance last night. I'll ask you. Maybe you have the answer. They talked about an atlas today or this week. You know, to be careful because of the election. You know, things can be more volatile than normal. Here's my question for you: I know it affects the market, but does the way we trade with smart money, does it really affect what we do?
Yes and no. So you do want to like keep in mind, obviously, if Trump wins, market's probably going to go up. If Biden wins, market's probably going to go down, right?
Right.
So you do want to still use that smart money institutional type because it is going to be manipulated a lot, especially since the U.S. dollar is our currency. Even though it's terrible right now, it's still considered a power currency and likes to be manipulated. Meaning, I'm probably going to stay away from USD pairs because if we're thinking like a bank, what are retail traders going to do?
Right.
Right? So if I'm the bank, I'm going to be moving the market every type of way just to, that's a lot of money they can collect at that point, right?
Right.
So what I would do, probably what I'm going to do is just mark up my points of interest and see where the banks are actually going to go off at that point. Like order blocks, what we're going to talk about, is going to be a big thing. For every time they buy the market up, they have to block orders, sell market back down, and that's where we see those trading ranges and then the schematics start to form. Makes sense?
Right. Yes. And I just didn't know, like I said, because, you know, the market has structure, it has to follow certain rules is what I'm learning. I just didn't know, like, because of this, if a rule can break, now I know it'll have to come back down or, you know, or up, whichever way it goes. But I just didn't know if crazy things can happen because of that.
Yeah, so you also want to keep in mind that the banks can only move the market so much, not because there's set rules, not like what I was told before, which is a complete lie, is that there's a master trader who makes rules for the banks. You can see how like dumb that sounds.
Neo.
Yeah, so the banks, they have so much money to be able to move the market. Yes, they have so much capital to move the market, but that much capital can only take the market so far. That's why they need to build liquidity again. Take retail traders stop losses, take their money, use that money to move the market, and then use their orders to mitigate their losses, and then create those pushes up or down. So
Gotcha.
especially during elections, a lot of manipulation.
Thank you for
Yeah, no
answering
problem.
that.
For sure, for sure.
I've learned I've been watching the boot camps. I just watched number 4 today, and I've learned more just in the past couple days. It's hard at first to learn, but it's such a more simple way to look at trading as opposed
Yes, definitely.
chasing the trend. We're chasing this. We're always behind.
Exactly, exactly. If you can understand the market, it makes it a whole lot simpler. Like
Yeah.
these Wall Street traders, yeah, you see these Wall Street traders, the ones who move the market or the stock market, whichever one it may be. They do what we're doing, right? We're doing what they're doing.
Right.
The traders, they follow patterns that are set by the banks, right? So as a retail trader, if there's a pattern, I'm taught to do this, but if you know why that pattern's there, then you're going to go the other way and go with the bank,
Right.
which
Even
is,
just like the fake outs that they talk about too. You see it every time. Oh, right
yeah,
below everybody's stop loss. Oh, right above. And I'm like, man.
yeah, exactly. And like breakout traders, which it really irks my soul when someone says they're a breakout trader. And I'm just like, all right, go break hours. I don't know. But yeah, like when I started learning institutional trading, it makes sense only because like we're taught as retail traders when markets in a range, don't even touch it. But like, what's the range doing? It's building liquidity.
Right.
That's where you want to touch it, because if the banks are building liquidity, you can build that same liquidity. Even though, yes, if you want to simplify it and make it to where anybody can understand it, it is bouncing up and down, but there's reasons why it's doing that, and it's not always going to keep bouncing from support up to resistance and back down. And that's where the order blocks come in, and also breaker blocks within those ranges. So yeah, let's get started on that. 736. Yep. Cool. So yeah, before I do start, does anybody have any questions? I know a lot of you should know what order blocks and breaker blocks is, but does anybody have any questions at all? Everyone good? Cool, cool. So I'm not sure how James taught it before in the boot camps, but did he go along the lines of for order blocks like their drop-based rallies, rally-based rallies, stuff like that? Anybody that's seen it? Nope. Okay. So in a sense, the rally-based rally, in a sense, can be considered an order block. And the rally-based drop. Or sorry, my bad. Rally-based drop and drop-based rally. In a sense. So I don't, go find the rally-based drops and the vice versa, because I'll show you guys why once we hop on the chart. But essentially with the order block, when we're pushing price down, when price is moving down, after it hits that order block, looking for the up handle before the down move. This is when price is moving down, right? And obviously, it's the opposite when price is moving up. The down candle before the up move. Then can anybody tell me why we're looking for those? Anybody got any guesses, ideas? So I know James went over this in Bake Logic, if anybody was there. But can anybody tell me why?
For entry purposes?
Yes and no. We are looking to enter around order blocks, but why was the order block created? So as they said it, banks are taking liquidity, right? So
Yeah,
once
that's
they're
for
pushing,
orders up here.
yeah, exactly. Once they're pushing market up, they're setting, I don't know, let's go with negative $100 million to push the market back down. So we're looking for that order block for price to retrace back up. And if they're pushing the market down, right here, we're looking for that up candle before the down move, right? So when price retraces back up, we're looking to enter around the area of the up candle before the down move, and opposite when price is being pushed up, right? So let's look at an example. I'm ready to. Cool. So let's go with, we'll take all this off, but I'm gonna have to put it back up. Everybody see this right here? The zone I just marked up?
Yep.
Cool. So we see price, wick down, yes. But we're looking for this down candle before our up move, right? We see this huge rally. We're going to be focusing on this candle here. So usually I like to use my zones about maybe a little bit more of the body of the candle not the whole wick necessarily, just because that leaves us with a bigger zone to work with. If price does in fact push out of this zone and stay around this wick, then I'll increase it. But that's when I'm watching price. You know, I want to see the price action in that area of this order block, right? But if price happens to stay within my preset zone, then I'm looking for solid entries in that area. That makes sense to everybody?
Are you more concerned with the one in the middle or all three of them?
I'm only concerned with the one in the middle. So it's always
Okay.
gonna, for the up move, we're looking at the down candle before the up move. So if this
Okay.
is the beginning of our up move, I'm focusing on this candle.
Thank you.
Yep. So everybody see that?
And where would the order block area be? Would it be from the top of the wick and the bottom of the wick, or just the body of the candle?
So it would be the entire candle, but I myself, I like to keep my zones a little bit smaller to start with. So if price, let's just say price comes down, bounces around, and then bounces up, I'm only looking for my entries in this area. But let's say price wants to bounce down out of the zone. In that case, I'm going to go with price and increase my zone to the wick, right? Because price is reacting in the entire order block. That makes sense? But I myself,
Yes, yes.
I like to keep it smaller at first, but if need be, I will increase it. Okay, so yeah, I just want to clarify that. That's just my little tricks, I guess. So I'll go around the body and probably increase it just a little bit because we do have a lot of wicks that generate in the market, right? Price wants to, I know this happens for Zay a lot. Price wicks half a pip above his limits and then, just shoots up at the profit. I know that's happened to Zay a lot. Happened to me, it's happened to all of us, which is why instead of going directly at the body, I'm going to increase it just a little bit, just in case price wants to wick. And if it wants to wick even further, then I'm going the entirety of the candle. That makes sense? But yeah, it happened to me, I think last week too. Limits can be a struggle, especially with order blocks, because we don't know exactly where to put the limit, right? Which is why I like to shorten it up, put it in this area in case price wants to come down, maybe bounce at the top, and then hit my limit, then bounce up, right? Because if I put it at the body of the candle, let's just say we use the whole body, now we have a smaller zone that we're working with. You want to feel comfortable with your zones, especially at the order blocks, because we can have order blocks, for example, up here, that are a lot bigger, right? That we could work with. But this is just a crazy zone, and there's a lot to look for in that area, which is why I like to keep mine a little bit smaller, just in case we're looking for a wick entry, just in case price doesn't make it all the way. That makes sense?
Yeah. Do you mind pointing out to us just where is it exactly you're putting your sell limit, just to give us an idea?
Yeah, so I'll give you guys this too. I go off a lot of institutional numbers, so let's do this. Y'all can take a picture of this too. Well, give me 1 second, I'm gonna let my dog. So yeah, I like to go off these institutional numbers here. I did learn these from another group called Outcome, and they have given me a lot of hyper entries, only because I did learn quarter levels and I used to apply them, but we just have so many quarter levels. We could literally plot the whole chart with quarter levels.
Yeah, because there's quarters inside of quarters.
Exactly. These numbers, if price ends in these numbers, I've seen it firsthand myself, as well as when I was learning them. This also applies to smart money, right? Banks like to play off these numbers for some reason. We don't know entirely, but they like it, which means we're looking for price to end in 80502000, right? So I'll give you all like 20 seconds to take a picture of that. But so I'll place my limits around those areas, right? So I'll give you like 5 more seconds, and then I'll plot a interest point.
And when you're getting into your interest, you go down to a lower time frame once you see price inside of your zone.
Yeah, definitely. That's how you want to have like every type of confluence, especially around these order blocks, because we can see the bigger picture of the order block on lower time frames. Right? We could see if price sat there because it just couldn't get past, to confirm that yes, this is a strong order block, or we should look for the next one. Right? So I know we've seen order blocks form somewhat within structure of an uptrend or a downtrend. We've seen them form at the bottom, at the lower high, next lower high, stuff like that, right? So we want to see where price is really gonna play off of at the strongest point of whatever order block we're looking for. UCAD is a great example of it today. So yeah, we could pull that up. Here, we'll pull UCAD up, take a peek. So just for my limit, who asked? So if my limit's around the body of the candle, I'm gonna take that and move it to the nearest number that it ends in. So if we're at 94, the nearest is gonna be 0, 0. Right? So my limit's gonna be in that area. And just so you guys know, you do not want to put your stop losses at institutional levels or these numbers. Why? Because if banks are playing off of the numbers, you don't want to keep your stop loss in that area, because the bank is going to look for these numbers to hit. And if your stop loss is there, then your stop loss is going to get hit, right? Cool. So let's peep USD CAD. Okay, so Saucy, you want to... What's happening?
It was on the lower time frame, bro.
Which
Before it
one?
dropped. It was UCAD. USD CAD.
What time frame you're looking at?
It was on, let me see, can peep real quick. I was literally just looking at it. I was looking at it 10 minute. You can literally scale down to the bottom. It stops at 32.25.0. So the last two numbers were 50.
Oh yeah, see exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So y'all can see that, right?
Yep.
So y'all know I know what I'm talking about, right? So yeah, like I like to play off these numbers, especially. Saucy, you take this trade?
Nah, I was out doing some shit, but I didn't put the sell limit or anything.
Gotcha. So yeah, if we were to take this trade, it would be 40 pips in profit right now.
Perfect.
Right? Which is, to me, that's a lot. And some sort of an aspect, because I don't go for dollar amounts, I go for pips. Right? Because once you build your guys' account, let's say you're now dropping 0.10, so that's $40 right off one trade, which is a good way to compound your account, right? I know we'll get more into it as far as building accounts down the road, but just so you guys know, you want to definitely build the account before looking for dollar amounts. That makes sense. All right, so back to here. So does that make sense to order blocks for everybody? Everybody understand that? We should go back? Because I want to do a little quiz with y'all. I want y'all to point out the order blocks to me so we know that you understand it. All right. I'll let you guys read this one more time. Up candle before the down move if price is being pushed down. Down candle before the up move if price is being pushed up. Cool. All right. So let's go back to the chart. I'm gonna pick a random pair, and I want you guys to tell me where the order block is that we should be looking for. Two-hour. All right, this one's easy, so I'm gonna pick a different one. All right, so yeah, where should we be looking for the order block in this case?
Down at the bottom of the big push up there.
In this area?
Yeah.
Cool. So if we're looking for price to push up and then retrace, which one are we focusing on now?
The bottom one.
The bottom one? So you're saying like this one?
Yeah.
Cool. So yeah, we could focus on that one, but which other one do we have?
One
Yep.
right
One.
above it.
17500 here in that area.
Exactly. So this is what I like to do. I know like when I draw my charts, I have like multiple points of interest. This is exactly why. What did price do if we were to extend this? What did it do in this case?
Came down, took the liquidity out of there. That long candle over there to the right.
Exactly. And where did it like wick around? I'll see that. Ended in 20, right? So if we're looking for buy limits in this area, I probably would have put it a little bit down here, but hey, still. If we took the trade in this area, let's say the top of our zone, wrote it up, could have been 88 pips in profit, currently sitting 54, which is still good. That makes sense? So everybody sees the two order blocks right here and right there.
Yes.
Oh, and then we see the down candle before the up move, down candle before up move, right? Oh, you took this buy? Nice, bro. This was definitely clean. Even if we took it from here, let's say this, that's 147 pips in profit. Now let's say we're in this trade right now. Where are we looking to take profit? I'll zoom out so you can. Where are we gonna look to take profit? So if we're targeting liquidity, where do we see a lot of liquidity built?
See liquidity at the
Okay.
top.
Right here?
See more at the top. Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, exactly. For me, we're in this trade. My first take profits of gonna be around this liquidity. Stop loss, bottom of the zone, 16 pip stop for close to 150 pip win. However, we do see these wicks up here. I'm probably gonna look to take profit again if price hits this TP. Then yes, I'm gonna look to purge these highs or go to equals highs and then possibly purge them, because if we zoom out, we have a lot that we have liquidity here, we have a little bit here, and a little there, right? So those are all TPs that we could look to target. However, you always want to make sure when it comes to liquidity, just throwing this out there, you want to see where the banks are going to take the most liquidity, right? So if we see a bunch of order blocks on the chart, let's see first why banks would want to target that area for our entries, and then for take profits, we want to see why banks we want to target that area. If there's a lot of liquidity, if they're retracing the market, if they're rebalancing the market off inefficiency, anything like that. We always want to make sure that we know or have a good idea of why the bank is doing what. That makes sense?
Mhm.
Cool. So let's go back to the 2 hour. Can everybody tell me what this order block lines up with? Like why price rebalanced? And what do we have all the way here?
Inefficiency.
Yep, exactly. So just by looking at that, this trade would have been completely valid because we have price rejected off the order block. Price was also rebalancing itself off the inefficiency. Those are all a lot of institutional trading confluences that we can go off of. Cool. Now let's look for, go to a random chart again. Let's look for the order block from the top side. So we're looking for the move down. Can everybody tell me where that's at?
To your left.
My left. Cool, yep.
The most you're referring to the most recent at all times, right?
Most recent or the one we really want to play off of. So if there's multiple ones, where do we think price would really show itself or react to the most?
Gotcha. I'm looking at liquidity at the top side right now. That seems like the point of interest. The
Right
target,
here?
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, yep, exactly. Liquidity here, plus we have the up candle before the down move. We could also use this up candle before the down move. This move was a lot stronger. This was the start of the move though, right? Price came down, little retrace and shot down. So what I would
Plus,
do, sorry, go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say that you sell into buys and buy into sells, and you're selling right now. So
Yeah, exactly. So this is something that I like to do. I would just plot both, right? In case price breaks here and goes to this area, then I'm looking to enter the sell in that area, or if price just wants to react in this area, I'm looking to sell there. So even though they're literally right next to each other, I'm still going to plot them both because I know when I use my zones, it helps me see it a lot better than just using one zone and trying to eyeball the other. Cool. So yeah, order blocks, pretty simple. I don't know, like there's not much to it. It's just you want to understand, you know, the what you need to see first. Like I said, up candle before the down move, down candle before the up move, and that's what we're gonna focus on, right? If we try to focus on candles prior, we're not gonna get the best interest out of that move. Exactly what Zay said. That's where the banks come in. We could see the banks push the market up. So we have a fair value gap here. We'll get into that a little bit more down the road as well. But this right here is a fair value gap. Just so y'all know, it's just a smaller gap. Can be considered an inefficiency, but it's not like seeing a big move like we saw in the last chart. This is just a small gap within the candles itself. But we see price created the order block and then rebalanced itself within this fair value gap. Cool.
So a fair value gap is an inefficiency, but just a smaller one then? Is
Yeah,
that
in a
safe to say
sense.
that?
In a sense. So how the way to plot it is use the candle prior within the body of the fair value gap and then the candle that it created. So basically this zone right here is that fair value gap or FVG.
Oh, gotcha.
Cool. So yeah. Does that make sense for order blocks to everybody?
Yep.
Cool. So now we're gonna get into the breaker block. Cool. Breaker block. Does anybody know what the breaker block is? Remember, we have two. We have the bullish and the bearish. Does anybody know what it exactly is?
Can we say that it is an order block, but one that has been traded through?
If there's an order block there, yes. So you also want to keep in mind. Let's see. Let's go back to the chart. And we're so was it? I think it was USD CAD. That was so yeah. We have a thing called a liquidity break as well, right? So I don't want to confuse you guys between the breaker block and the liquidity break. There's things we have to look for within a breaker block that in a liquidity break, it's not really shown the best. Within liquidity, we're just seeing price take the liquidity, right? So let's see if I can get like just a clear example. I think it was CAD. Like right here, we have liquidity built that was taken by a strong candle, right? All this liquidity was taken. So when we're looking at a breaker block, there's certain things that we have to look for. So I did draw up NU for that reason, just so we could see. And then I did plot this last week before the market closed, just so y'all could see that it is going into profit, right? Even with market open. So first thing that we're going to be looking for within, this is for a bullish breaker. So we're looking for the price of the market, or the market to be bullish, right? Not bearish. We're looking for price to go up, right? First thing we want to look for is, are there any sell stops in the market that banks can activate and take out by pushing the market up, right? So in this case, the reason why I'm going off this candle for sell stops is we can assume that since price came down, created that wick and didn't really come back to it, there was more of a liquidity pool in that area. Everybody see that?
We're on the whiteboard, we can't
We're
see.
yeah, still on the whiteboard.
Oh, geez. All right. Now y'all can see it.
We can see it
Yeah,
now.
now we can.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so right here, this wick, sell stops, right? The way to confirm that is this move here, right? So we can see that price was pushed down, activated those sell stops. So retail traders thought, okay, we're going to make some money. However, price came back and pushed up, right? What else do we have right here?
Have an order block.
Yep, exactly. So if banks are entering in that part of the market and they're pushing price up, that's where we're going to see a break, right? So what we're going to be focusing on, instead of the candle of the order block, in this case, I'm focusing on these two candles. If it was just one, then I'd be considering it the high of this move, but these two candles lined up. So we're focusing on those two candles in particular, right? Because it was the move after the sell stops were placed, price was pushed up. Banks are like, okay, we have sell stops in this area. Let's activate them, take their money. And price completely rallied and hit all the sellers' stop losses on the way up, right? So in that case, we see this move happen. This happened last week, right? Yeah, within last week. We see this move happen. What are we gonna look for, right? We're gonna focus on these two candles in particular. So this zone itself, we're looking for price to create this move up and eventually come back in to this zone, right? So where I placed the trade was off this candle. I was looking towards the middle of the zone. And that's where I have my looking for buys in this area, right? So currently this trade, 52 pips in profit, about, yeah, 52 pips in profit. But we had to look for all our confirmations, confluence, whatever you want to call it. For me, I just say, look for this, right? Sell stops activated and taken out by a big impulse move up. Now we're going to focus off these two highs, these two candles, whatever you want to call it. Price came back into our point of interest and eventually bought up. It's currently in profit. And if we're going to look for a target area, I'm targeting this area right here, We could push up a little bit more. What do we have up here? This area.
Liquidity.
Liquidity and
What buy stops
the
and
order block.
order block.
Yep, exactly. Yep, Mark. Got it. Cool. So everybody see that, right? Does it make sense for everybody? What exactly we're looking for? All right, cool. Now let's go to EU. So yeah, now we're looking at EU. Can anybody tell me, based off the previous chart, what we're going to be looking for and what? I have it kind of plotted out, but I want you guys to like say what it actually is, right? So let's start first. What do we need to look for first?
Liquidity,
Sell stop.
targeted liquidity.
Someone said it, sell stops, right?
Sell stop, yeah.
Cool. So our sell stops would be at this candle, right? Price came down, created a liquidity pool, and so sell stops here. What's next?
Yep.
Yep, Mark says sell stops taken out. Right? This move here, what's next?
The order
And the
block.
break of the order block, yeah.
So not necessarily the order block itself, but what are we looking for? Because it could be an order block, but we're looking for something in particular to happen.
They're gonna take the sellers out of the market because they're gonna hit their stop losses up there.
Yup, exactly. Buy side liquidity, strong move up, take the sellers out, right? We also want price to break the highs that we're looking for, which move it did, right? Now we
Yeah.
see that.
So at the bottom there, that was an order block as well, below that sell stop. Would that
Sell
be
stop?
considered? Yeah, in that vicinity. Would
Like
that be
right here?
considered an order block? Yeah.
Yeah, because I would consider this the start of the move, or you could say this candle here.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, they're both in the same general area, so yeah, we could go off there.
And
We
then
also
when
want,
price comes, and then when price comes back to it, it's a RTO. Would it be considered a return of origin or no?
yeah, I mean, I don't use those crazy things
Terms.
James uses, yeah,
Gotcha.
but yeah, we
So
could do that.
so a hex is small.
Yeah, he'd be coming up with some things for sure.
You're being a nerd, George.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Cool. So yeah, price rallied up, took out stop losses. So now, what area are we looking for?
Liquidity at the top.
Well, first before that, for like our entry point. Remember, I said we're gonna focus off these two candles, particularly this high, because this candle's a little bit higher. So we're
About 50% of that.
So we're focusing on that zone, right? So if we see these two candles here, we see these two wicks being formed, we're gonna focus on those in particular, right?
Lined up with the fair value gap. Yeah, that's true.
So if we want to mark that up to there, price came back close to 50% of the fair value gap. So that's also another confluence that we could look for, right? So we see these two wicks, price came in. Let me take that over real quick. I actually did take this trade. Just I don't think I called it because I was marking it up for educational purposes, but I was like, damn, that looked good. So yeah. But yeah, we see the two wicks. We're gonna look for buys in this area. What did price do? Came into our area and bought up, right? So me, I probably like 5 pip stop is crazy good, but me, I like to extend it just around this area. I would put it like a little bit below 50% of the fair value gap, gives you a little bit room to work with, right? So now we're in the trade for hypothetically, could have wrote it up for 115 pips with 6 pip drawdown, right? So forgot where I have my stop loss. Cool. So yeah, about same area. 12 pip risk for 104 pip win. Sounds pretty good, right? Does that make sense to everybody for the bullish breaker block? Anybody need me to go over anything? Any questions? No questions? Everybody good?
So is the breaker block just considered those wicks then? Or is it actually that whole candle?
So it's considered this whole candle because we are breaking the structure, right?
Okay.
Instead of price creating a lower low, price broke up. We could go off this as a block.
So it's actually a candle with a box around it.
You said a candle with a box around it?
Yeah, with the fair value gap.
Well, that was just created within it. So I mean, we could have definitely had price come down a little bit more, create some sort of retracement, but the fact that the fair value gap was created within the move, we could play off that as well.
Okay.
That
So
makes
one more
sense.
time, what is exactly considered the breaker block? That's what confuses me.
Yeah, good question, because that's where I'm lost at as well.
Yeah, so
Which
we're
one
looking
is
for
it?
the strong move to not only take out the sellers, but take out these candles here, these two
So
wicks.
it's not necessarily a candle, it's the move itself.
Yeah, it's the move.
Okay.
Oh, that's what I was. I had the same question.
That's why I've
too.
had
That's what I was
struggle getting that.
confused
I've
at.
always thought it was just a candle, and I never could figure out what
That's what I thought too.
Gotcha. So yeah, so I
Okay.
mean, let me see if I could find an example. So with
I
like
was thinking
liquidity,
that's what the rectangle was there.
so like I call them liquidity breaks. I probably call something else, but when we see price like these wicks here, let's say price broke up, that we would be only focusing off the candle, right? Because it took liquidity and bought up, right? But in this case, we're looking for the move to take out seller stop losses, as well as we're focusing on these candles.
So it's just a different way that banks take out that liquidity, essentially.
Yeah, exactly.
Instead opposed to have that sudden move there, which would be that big institutional candle right after when it drops first. It didn't really take anything out. So instead, it's the up move that does it.
Exactly. So instead of seeing like price build up a little bit, have little retracements and move up, we saw a strong move off two candles, 2 4-hour candles.
Gotcha.
And not only did it take out the seller stop losses by a lot, we also see off our point of interest, it took out those highs.
Gotcha. Okay, now I got it. That makes more sense.
Cool. So can anybody tell me if this is a bullish breaker, what should we be looking for in a bearish breaker?
Just the opposite.
Just the opposite, right? So instead of sell stops, what we're gonna look for?
Buy stops.
Cool. So let's see if we can. I want y'all to see if we can spot those. So let me just pick a random. Let's go off of a major. Let's do USD CAD. All right.
There's one right there.
Where?
Right below your.
Right here?
To the right.
To the right of that. Right
and
there.
To the left and down.
Down here?
To the
Well,
right.
I'm talking to the right of that. That little right. Keep going to the right. Right there. That's the first part of the move, isn't it?
That big move down.
And then it would be, but see, that's not a huge move back up though, like those other ones did.
Yeah. So we're looking. So let's pull this back up. So if we're looking for buy stops to be taken out, right?
Oh, I was looking at, that's a bullish I was looking at. Never mind.
Yeah, so let's look. Yeah, we're looking for the opposite, right? So if
I
we're
was
looking
looking-
first.
I
So
just identified what you just showed us. So never mind. Go back. My fault.
I keep losing USD cap. All right, cool. So anybody see where the buy stops might be?
Um,
Wasn't that whole thing in the middle of your screen one?
Where was that?
There's
Well, like to your left at the this big upside down U, is that whole thing not one? With
The
all
U.
your with all of your buy stops would be over here to your left and down in that consolidation area. The
Like right
big
here?
no, all the way down to your left. The big consolidation area
Oh,
right there,
okay.
that whole area.
So like we can go off here.
Yes, I think.
So
I would have thought the one 32600 on the right, yeah, that single
to the
candle
right.
that goes by itself, and then the trend, then we go back down the other way.
like up here.
No, keep going on the right. Right there, that candle, that one right there.
Right here. All right. So in this
We're looking-
case, did we see the buy stops get activated though?
no.
No. All right. So let me pull this up one more time. So if we see the sell stops being formed in the liquidity pool, we want them to get activated, right? The only way the banks can get their money is if they hit the sell stops, meaning retail traders are now in the market. They need to get taken out, right? But for them to get taken out, they need to be activated, which was this move here, right? And then we see the rally, and then the breaker. Cool. So basically, all we're looking for is the complete opposite of this, right? So if we're looking for buy stops, we want the buy stop to form. Let's say it's here, taken out, and then for it to come back down. Not saying this is the bearish breaker, but that's what we're looking for, right? So if we see sell stops form at the bottom to keep going down with the market, where do we think the buy stops are gonna form?
At the top.
Cool. So let's go back. All right. So let's just go back. Let me see if I can find a good example, and then I'll let y'all pick it out. All right. All right, we're gonna focus up in this area.
I think I see it.
You see it? You can draw it out if you want with the annotation. Anybody see it?
Yeah, let me see. I can turn this annotation on.
Say it right here.
Yeah, if you run that all the way across, yeah, run a rectangle, yeah, all the way through. It's being wicked to the upside. And then it got broken right through there.
So if we see buy stops get taken out, where do we assume the market's gonna go? If we're looking for a bearish breaker.
It's supposed to be going to the downside.
Right.
So,
So
so that would be considered one then. What about just right above it?
Right here?
There, yeah, all the
Yeah.
way across, yeah.
we can see that our buy stops are in this area.
Yeah, because it wicked up to the top,
Yep.
and then to turn around and just sell off instead. Yeah.
Cool. Then we're gonna focus on around these wicks, right? So I mean, for this, just in particular, wasn't the best profit that we could have gotten. But if we have a stop loss above here, we'll say our entries in this area. Still doesn't look like much, but 132 pips in profit. So everybody can see that, right? We can assume buy stops are here. Buy stops get activated with this wick. Impulse move down. If we have a limit, or if we're looking for this entry area of interest, point of interest, whatever you want to call it, wicked in, came back down, came back around break even, and then finally fell back down for 131 pips in profit, right? So now what do we see happening here? Price came back up. So like if we didn't take profit in that area, our stop loss would have been hit. Can anybody tell me why? There's also
Stop loss?
like why it hit stop loss.
Because it didn't take out the liquidity over to the left there.
Yep, exactly. So in this case,
Wick.
yeah, in this case, banks thought of there was more liquidity at the top side, so they pushed price up. Took out whatever may have been here, 2 hour. That's right here. So we can see that there possibly is liquidity here. Some sitting up here. For me, myself, I would have been like, okay, I'm going to play with this a little bit, because if I was the bank, I can create a lot of manipulation in this area, right? Then we see like any retail things happening.
Yeah.
Yep, you see that? We can definitely play this off as
Double top.
double top. Yep, exactly.
And shoulder.
Exactly. So that also, we also want to, once we're in the trade, we want to be able to manage the trade, right? So if we take that price, that trade for 132 pips, we want to know, okay, see this forming. Maybe it's a good time to exit, right? Take that profit. All right, cool. Price went all the way back up, but we still have the money that we made from the trade, right? Cool. So you always want to be aware, even though we are trading with the banks, they're still going to manipulate the market. They're going to let the retail traders win sometimes, right? Because if the retail traders win, they're going to keep trading, right?
Yep.
So,
The blackjack theory.
exactly. Cool. So does anybody have any questions at all?
Can you show us another example of that one, of the bearish breaker?
Yeah. So
For some reason, I'm having a harder time seeing that one than I am the other way.
I'm with you, Blake. It's easier to see the other way. I don't know
yeah,
why.
definitely. Definitely. So let's see if we can example. I know for it, the bullish breakers do happen a lot more than the bear. So I definitely do be trading that one a lot more.
Is that one right?
Oh,
Maybe it's because of the pair that you're looking at.
Thought I saw one somewhere.
it was off the 2 hour.
What about that right there in the middle of your screen?
Right here?
Right. No, the other to your left. That other wick to your left, all the way on the other side of that big right there.
Right here.
Oh wait, we want to go down again. Dang it, I'm doing it backwards.
You might look at pulling up NU.
Yeah.
Maybe you see some better. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, yeah, I mean, like, look in this area.
Yep, you can see it. They triggered them and then only to fall right off. Yep. Buy stops.
Yep. So let's spot this up. This is usually my liquidity sign, but we'll just say buy stops, right? Buy stops taken out. This move took the buy stops, activated it. If we extend this, buy stops activated and taken out, right? Because price came back down. Cool. So now we're gonna look off this zone here. So I'm gonna remove this line. Now we're gonna base our point of interest off this zone. Why? Because before buy stops were taken out, we'd see these two wicks. Cool. Price came back down, took all the sell or the buyer's stop losses in this case. I'm doing two, and came back up to our point of interest, right? What did it do when it hit our point of interest?
Sold off again.
Sold off again, right? So if we, let's say we entered at the bottom of the zone this time. We could have rode it for 160 pips. If we're being courageous, we can only back up 30 pips and then rode it back down for about 189 pips. Everybody see that?
Yep.
Cool.
And it may or may not have anything to do with breaker blocks, but isn't that also a distribution schematic in Wyckoff?
Yep.
Yes, sir.
You Tad.
So that could be another confirmation as well.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely when you're looking within a range, you want to see if we can see the schematic first. If we see distribution, you probably want to go down, right? Cool. So that makes sense for everybody.
Yeah, they just look so much alike. It's just the end of it that.
Yeah, they're definitely a lot alike. It's just flip, right? So if we pull up current spot, it's basically just flip. Cool. And yeah, this trade's currently sitting about 50 pips. Cool. But anybody got any questions at all? Can you go back over anything? This is being recorded too, so it is going to be dropped for you guys to rewatch. Everybody good? No questions?
Good.
Awesome. Yeah, cool. So these two, I'm currently in both those trades. Yeah, y'all want to go off a naked chart and see if we could find, let's see if we can find an order block. I appreciate it, Steve and Paula. We definitely try. But yeah, let's see. Where can we base order block off? We're looking off.
Is that one not right there, right before the last up?
The last.
On the very right, the last, just that 10 candles over. The second to the top. That one.
Like up right here?
Yep.
So somewhat, we didn't have like a strong enough down move for it to be.
So it needs to be a stronger down move on those.
Yeah, so we're looking for moves like this,
Okay.
right? Like this, right? So in this case, this never happened, but it got. That was still pretty far, 65 pips. But yeah, I was going off this order block up here. We could have probably even went off on back there, but yeah. This isn't the best example of a smart money entry or smart money tactic, but this is what I was waiting for in this case. Yeah. We can even go off right here. Up candle before the down move. Price came back. came to that area and went right there. 104 pips in profit before bouncing back up, right? And that happened because, can anybody see why? Why price came back up?
To grab that liquidity.
Take out those,
Exactly.
take out
Exactly.
those tops.
Yep. So that's why we want to make sure that when we're in the trade, we want to know if price is going back the other way, we want to hop out of the trade. We got our 100 pips. Cool. There's no point in hoping that this comes back down. Right?
Was that a
'Cause
breaker block there, right below your where it says POI, a first POI,
so like right here,
right in there? Yeah. Is that a bearish breaker?
Or that's an order block, isn't it?
yeah. So I would consider this the order block, but if we did have buy stops here, they were activated, and price came back into this area. So we could consider this a bearish breaker as well, and also fell for 120 pips.
Okay.
It is currently retracing. So let's say you were in this trade. It's another tool to use. The fib. What did that do?
Got up into your buy zone or sell zone.
Exactly. So if this is just a retracement and we're in this trade, I would probably look for re-entries to compound the account. Everybody see that? Cool. So yeah, does anybody got any questions at all? I do like to keep it, simple for y'all, so I'm not throwing a bunch at you. And wait for signs of weakness on lower time frame. Okay, I see what you mean. Actually looks nice. Does everybody see what he's talking about? He's looking for signs of weakness on lower time frame. Daily. So you're saying like here? Yeah. You tad up there, a couple tests. This could actually happen soon. Definitely. I know everybody's waiting for the EU to happen. It's been taking a while. Does everybody see like crazy distribution?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, like I've been waiting for this for a while. We caught this sell, but it wasn't the full distribution for price to mark down, right? This one did go for 247 pips. Yeah, this one's just taking forever.
Is that last peak there the UTAD? Is that what that is? The highest peak to your left?
Yeah, the UTAD. Yeah, exactly, right there.
And so are all of these retests? Is that what these are? Last points of supply, or
so
or did the distribution end with that 240 pip move down?
not necessarily, only because right now the dollar is being weird. Like just to keep it simple, the dollar is so
Elections, bro.
off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
what could this do because of the election? Like, what could this end up doing?
So that's where, like, I know me and Jay's been talking about this a lot. It's just we're trying to figure out how this can be manipulated because this is EU. This can definitely affect the European stock market as well, right? With whoever wins, because there are a lot of stocks based off what happens in the United States stock market, right? New York Stock Exchange, NASDAQ, and all that. We are all still sell biased for this distribution to happen, but we're weary of the fact that it could, if Trump wins, some weird things are going to happen, basically. right? Because banks are going to be like, okay, elections are happening. We can do a lot right now. Because obviously a lot of retail traders are going to be trading because major news, we have our fundamental traders, major news is happening. They're going to trade it like NFP week. They're going to be all up in the market, buying and selling based off the news, right? So banks are going to be like, if I was a bank, I'd be like, okay, well, I'm going to take all their money. First, let me throw them a bone to keep trading, right? So for me, in this case, I would want probably structure to be broken on the top side before saying, okay, this is the end of the distribution of this move. Probably not going to happen again, right? Probably not going to fall back down. Until that happens, I'm still sell biased for sure. I'm still trying to catch, the big one, because this is just clean. It's just way too clean for it not to happen, right? And also keep in mind, retail traders don't know about this. They're not looking for EU to fall. They're probably thinking, okay, well, maybe it's gonna buy because we have. I don't even know how to trade a double top anymore, even a double bottom. Be out of my head. But however they trade it, they probably want to buy it or do whatever they want with it. But expect a lot of manipulation with USD pairs, US 30, the NAS, SPX, even gold. There's gonna be a lot happening with that. Right? So everybody good? That makes sense to everybody as far as manipulation. Yeah, they might buy because of the trend line, right? Why people use trend lines, I don't know. Just to throw it out there, I hate trend lines. It's just a coincidence in the market. It's not really where price reacts. Cool. Yeah, I mean, that is pretty much everything with order blocks and breaker blocks. Does anybody have any questions at all? Yeah, no
Thank
problem,
you so
bro.
much for doing that. That was
Yeah, no
awesome.
problem. No problem. Appreciate you guys for coming on.
Yeah, thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it
Yeah,
too.
definitely. Y'all can always hit me up. Definitely. I'm always active in Discord, so y'all can always send me what you're looking at. I'll definitely reply. Most I won't reply is like within an hour, but I try to reply as fast as I can. Cool. So yeah, Zay, are we doing the Midnight Millions happening tonight?
Like technically it's Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, but I might be up. I can drop a Zoom.
It's Monday? Oh,
Yes, sir.
shit. Dang. It was a long weekend, so
But yeah, I'll let y'all know if I drop a Zoom.
Cool. So yeah, if nobody has any questions, I'm gonna end it there. Appreciate it, Steve and Paula. Thank y'all for joining. If you have a question later on, you can always hit me up. I'll be on, but this is recorded. I will drop the video again for if y'all want to go back, review some things. But yeah, if no one has questions, I'm gonna end it there. But yeah, thank you guys for joining. Appreciate y'all.
Thanks, buddy.
Yep, definitely.
Thanks,
All right. Cool. Y'all have a good night. Stay safe.
Yeah, thanks again, man. Appreciate it.
Sir, yes, sir.
Shout out to the Albuquerque crew.
Yep, definitely. Cool. All right. So yeah, I'm in it there, guys. Have a good night. Stay safe and happy Halloween. All right. See y'all.